Look at this mouth-watering Philly cheesesteak carnivore pizza. Make sure to watch the entire video for a successful outcome. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need are eggs. We're going to be using 4 egg whites. And here's a trick I like to use. With a knife, lightly strike the eggshell like this. This will enable you to get a nice clean break, as you see here. This trick will also help you avoid getting eggshells in your egg whites. The next ingredient will be 1/2 tablespoon egg white powder. Now with a stand mixer, or in my case a hand mixer, go ahead and whip your eggs until you achieve stiff peaks. You need to continue to whip them until they look like this. Now I definitely prefer a NutriBullet, but whatever blender you have is fine. Next you're going to need 1/2 cup cheese. I'm using provolone mozzarella blend. Now you're going to add 1/2 cup cheese to your mixing cup. Now with this process you always want to blend your cheese first. Now with a NutriBullet you should be able to reach this consistency with about 4 bursts. You want it to become the consistency of, say, a coarse Parmesan cheese. Next you're going to need rind flour, and unfortunately pork panko will not work for this. It needs to be ultra fine. Now the good news is if you have a NutriBullet or something that will actually pulverize your pork panko, you can turn it into rind flour very simply with a burst or 2. And if you don't have either one of those, I have a video right here that will show you how to make rind flour. Now you want to take 1/2 cup rind flour and mix it with your already shredded cheese. Go ahead and get that blended up in the mixer with about 4 or 5 bursts. Now the last ingredient for this is chicken flour, and if you don't have it or it's too expensive, I have a recipe right here. Now you're going to take a 1/4 cup chicken flour and you want to go ahead and sprinkle it over the top, then give it a good shake, open it back up, and place in the remaining 1/4 cup chicken flour. Give it a final shake and it should look something like this. Now you're going to sprinkle your mixture over your egg whites, and with your mixer on low you're going to go ahead and mix these up until they're well incorporated. You're going to need parchment paper for this, and I have found that pre-cut parchment paper makes my life so much easier, and it comes out to about the same cost. Now before we place the parchment paper, you want to go ahead and spray the inside of the pan very generously. Now take the parchment paper and place it into the pan, and with your fingers press it into the corner so that you have a nice tight fit like this. Now go ahead and drop the dough in the center of the pan, and now it's time for a confession. I had really intended for this to be a deep dish pizza. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how absorbent the chicken flour was. Nevertheless, this turned out to be a wonderful recipe. Alright, enough of that squirrel moment, back to the recipe. Now, be gentle with this dough. The goal here is just to get it spread out evenly and lightly press it down. Press it down till you get a nice uniform looking dough like this. Now into the oven at 350 for 10 minutes. At the 10-minute mark, you want to take it out the oven, go ahead and flip it over, and as you can see, look at this nice golden brown crust. We're going to go ahead and place this back in the oven for an additional 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you want to remove it from the oven and sprinkle a light coat of mozzarella cheese over it. Now place it back in the oven until the cheese just starts to melt. Once the cheese is melted, you want to remove it from the pan. Now go ahead and recoat it with your oil and place the pizza cheese side down in the pan. Now I'm using 0-carb Munster cheese from Aldi. You can use whatever cheese you'd like, but I prefer Munster. It melts well and tastes delicious. Now go ahead and place down a layer of cheese, followed by a layer of thinly sliced steak. And I got this steak at Aldi, and it worked great. Now using a grater, take frozen butter and grate a light coating over the meat. Then take and add an additional layer of cheese over the meat. We're going to go ahead and place it back in the oven until the cheese is melted to your liking. This recipe is delicious. Guys, thanks for watching. Go ahead and comment below, like this video, share this video, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.